Well, it's been said you can't outrun your problem. Maybe, though, you could outwalk them. That certainly would help you. Research shows walking is good for you for a number of reasons. And living in walkable places, Madison's pretty good. Boosts those opportunities. And our happiness expert, Professor Christine Whalen, is back with us. And you're not the happiness expert anymore? We're changing the title, right?
Well, a life of happiness comes from a life of purpose and meaning. So I'm now the purpose professor at Emory University. I'll still have some affiliations here up at UW, and I'm not moving. So I am going to be the happiness expert for you guys still.
Well, what does that entail? Emory's a tremendous school, one of the best in the country, and you get to be a part of that. Well, how is that going to work
Absolutely.
for you?
So there's a wonderful flourishing initiative that the provost started there, and the Emory Purpose Project is all about really incorporating this in all the classes and in the community at large. So I'm going to be doing a lot of the curriculum development and taking a lot of the great stuff that we do around happiness and well-being and bringing it to more people. So
it's nice you get to stay in Madison, but get the benefit of Emory, because Emory's in awful traffic Atlanta, one of the worst traffic cities in the country, and that's kind of the counterbalance, right, to walking. You know, you go to New York, nobody has cars, right? And I was just there, and I walked a ton. I lost like 5 pounds in 3 days. That's great, though, right? I mean, some of these urban centers are great. Some of them, if they have suburbia, maybe you can't walk to work.
So it turns out that Madison is actually one of the most walkable cities in the United States, which means that we see people who are walking to work, maybe biking to work, sort of going on our own active volition on a regular basis. Now, we don't want to overstate this because only about 4% of Americans overall walk or bike to work. In Madison, it's about 8%, so it's sort of double the national average, which is awesome. That puts us at number 12 in the United States, but 437th worldwide. Because it turns out that a lot of people walk and bike in Europe, and some in African countries as well. But when it comes to cities in the United States, with the exception of places like Manhattan, the richer the city, the more people tend to drive around in their cars. So this is not always a great thing, certainly not for our health, because walking has health benefits, but it's also not great for our happiness, because the more you spend in time commuting, the longer you spend in the car, turns out the less happy you are, because the less time you have to spend with friends, with loved ones, doing the things that you want to do. So living closer in, if possible, actually is a great way to maximize your happiness and well-being.
That's hard, though, in a place like Madison, where, you know, it's expensive to live in the core of the city where it's easy to walk to work, right? So does that surprise you, that number about Madison, a little bit? I mean, people are really active here. I mean, they always have been.
They are, and in fact, it's a lot of college towns, especially college towns in the Midwest. We see a lot of these college towns where people are walking and biking more. Kind of makes sense. But, you know, Madison is investing in infrastructure around public transport as well. So maybe even if you walk to the bus, as we all know, at University Ave, there's a lot of construction around these new bus lines. So perhaps this is going to allow us to walk to the bus, take a bus to work, and shorten our commute maybe, or at least make it a little more social.
I gotta admit, I love New York with the public transportation where you can walk everywhere. But it is so expensive to live in a place like that. It's
I grew up in New York City, so I love public transport. I love walking, but you better believe, raising a family with 5 kids, I'm very happy to be in Madison.
Well, congrats on the new job at Emory.
Thank you so much.
I said, tremendous university, and she is the purpose professor. So
we'll
continue to have you. Lucky to have you still in Madison.
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend, Christine. Thank you.